In the 1930s, daily life continued under an atmosphere of quiet observation.
Behind closed doors, systems of record and control quietly expanded.
Authority often moved quietly, leaving little trace of its presence.
For many, uncertainty entered the home without warning. Silence became a form of caution in public spaces.
Control often began with information, carefully recorded and quietly stored.
Observation did not always require presence on the street.
Even ordinary interactions became measured and restrained. Much of this system operated beyond public sight.
Power was not always visible, but it was always present. Uncertainty extended beyond public spaces and into private homes.
Routine continued, even as caution shaped daily behavior.
Information circulated carefully, often consumed without comment. At night, watchfulness replaced comfort.
Public presence became cautious and temporary. Authority spread through routine movement and repeated process. Information often moved through quiet channels rather than open discussion. Caution became a shared habit, practiced quietly and alone.
Public spaces encouraged awareness rather than connection. Over time, individual actions blended into a larger system.
Over time, individual actions blended into a larger system.
Observation became a habit practiced from within.
Movement through public space grew brief and deliberate.
Information flowed continuously, independent of those who carried it. Isolation became a quiet consequence of constant awareness.
Over time, constant awareness blended into everyday routine.
Even private communication became carefully measured.
New habits formed early, shaped by structure and silence.
Gradually, control no longer stood out. It became familiar.
Silence became a form of personal discipline. Thoughts were often left unfinished.
Public movement followed unwritten rules.
Presence was measured, even indoors.
Gradually, restraint moved inward.
Order became visible through routine compliance.
Shared spaces encourage distance rather than exchange.
Participation required presence, not expression.
Privacy narrowed
as caution shaped daily boundaries.
Over time, restraint became the expected behavior.
Even open spaces began to feel constricted.
Shared environments encouraged solitude rather than exchange.
Home offered shelter, but not complete relief. Participation shifted toward the margins.
Choices narrowed as caution reshaped daily life.
By then, control no longer needed constant reinforcement.
Systems endured through repetition rather than force.
The presence of authority blended into the urban landscape.
Waiting became a familiar part of everyday life.
What endured was not visibility, but permanence.
As days ended, uncertainty carried over into the night. Reflection often replaced conversation. Isolation was no longer unusual. It was expected.
Gradually, even light withdrew.
What remained was silence, shaped over time.
History often reveals itself through absence rather than spectacle.
Power leaves marks that are not always visible. Systems persist through patterns, not personalities. Silence can become a structure of its own. What is left unsaid often carries the greatest weight.
Understanding the past requires attention to its quietest moments.
History leaves questions as much as answers. Its lessons remain long after the silence. Its lessons remain long after the silence.